Sir Noel, Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Okay. Um, as what I know, you've been working here in Saudi Japanese Automobile High Institute for quite some time. So, how long have you been working, sir, in Sajahi?
From the conception of Sadjahi. So it means during construction phase we arrive in Sadjahi.
So that means you are a pioneer here in Sajahi.
Absolutely, yes.
So you're the first batch of people who started Sajahi actually, sir, right? Wow, it's great. Okay. By the way, sir, I'd like to ask some something about you, especially saan kayo sa Pinas, sir? Ulit?
Bago ako pumunta ng Saudi Japanese in Saudi Arabia, so taga Quezon City ako. Sa
Oh,
Quezon
yeah,
City.
alright.
So along Araneta Avenue, so it is near with Quezon Avenue.
You mean you stayed in Quezon City?
I stayed in Quezon City almost 20 years.
You originally came from Quezon City.
So originally I came from Bicol.
So,
Now my family already go back to Bicol region for good.
okay, so ilang taon na kayo ulit dito sa Jeddah, sir? Yung mga...
So now almost 13 years.
So, nung pumunta kayo sa KSA, ito na yung first job mo or did you have other job before this?
Actually, this is the third major job.
You had in KSA? You have been having
So in
KSA?
Saudi Arabia, this is the first time.
So this is the first time. Okay, so you started with what position in Saudi Japanese Automobile High Institute,
So
sir?
I started in Saudi Japanese as a senior instructor when we arrived in Saudi Japanese
So you basically started teaching, right, sir?
in teaching.
Okay. And then, how did your, what do you call this, your position progress?
So since Sajai is just new, at that time we are only 5 Filipino instructor composed of 3 senior instructor and 2 head instructor. So after 2 years there was a promotion, but unfortunately Filipino is not allowed to handle positions by one nationality. So it means it is not allowed. So it happens that another nationality should handle that position.
So right now, which position do you have, sir? So you've been promoted how many times?
At this time I was promoted 3 times.
3 times already. So you are... what
So from
position?
senior instructor 1 up to head instructor. So at this time as a group leader.
Okay, by the way, let's talk a little bit about your family. So you're with your family right now? Or...
No, because from the beginning I don't want to bring my family in Saudi Arabia for the reason of until now I have 4 children still studying. If my wife or my family will come, so it will suffer their education.
So have you had any plans to bring your family here with you? You've been here for like more than 10
I
years.
have plan, but not this time. I'm just waiting for my son to be soon. He will be graduated. So maybe I will consider after his after 2 years from now.
You mean your son is still studying?
Still studying.
So after that, maybe you're gonna bring your family here.
Yes, absolutely.
What are the reasons why you didn't want to bring your family head on when you were here?
Because we have objective. What's the reason why we are getting job outside the Philippines? Is this for our family? So number 1, we need to invest in their education as well as our shelter. And the third time, at least we have some investment. So if I will bring my wife or my family in Saudi Arabia, there's no chance for a proper education. We don't have in Saudi Arabia, we don't have colleges for expatriates, especially Filipino.
Okay, since you are in the OFW for quite some time, so I believe you already experienced a lot of things there. What are the difficulties you encounter so far? Any problems you encounter?
So when it comes to difficulties, a lot of difficulties. Number 1, you should know how to cook your own food.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Number 2, you need to how wash your clothes and ironing your clothes. And so part 2, which I mentioned a while ago, when you get sick. So now you must know how to bring yourself to the hospital. So this is the big
By
problem.
yourself, all by yourself.
By yourself. So the problem which I encountered before, I was confined to ICU. So by myself.
So I suppose that is the most difficult problem you had.
Still not yet difficult times, but the following year, I encountered some problems which include my gallbladder. So need to undergo an operation, which is the gallstone operation. So I encountered two operations. In the first place, they want to do the laparoscopic surgery, but doesn't materialize. So what happened? It is resulted to open surgery. It's open surgery.
So are you doing right now?
So this is the problem. After one day, the doctor said I should go home. So
Do
this
we
is
go home to the Philippines or
go home
just
in
go? Okay.
Saudi Arabia.
All right.
So when I was at home, so no one taking care for my necessary things. So I need
Alaga sa
to,
inyo. Okay.
kailangan kong bumangon, kailangan kong magluto habang naka-bind yung tiyan ko. Kasi baka bumukas yung
Wala man lang kapitbahay or
minsan
kasambahay.
minsan may mga kaibigan, may mga kakilala na bumibisita, tumutulong, pero sarili mo pa rin yung kailangan mong i-save.
Saka-
Kailangan mong bumangon.
Exactly. Saka iba pa rin pag yung family mo mismo, first
Yun.
family mo mismo, nag-aalaga sa'yo. No? So talaga na pang mahirap pala yung buhay ng...
Talagang mahirap lahat.
So paano mo ino-overcome mo ngayon, sir? Yung lahat ng hirap na naranasan mo, ikaw, nagkaroon ka ng operation, 2 beses pa. Paano mo na-overcome yun?
That is the promise. If you have Jesus Christ in your heart, you will become strong.
Yes.
So that's it.
And paano yung komunikasyon mo sa pamilya mo, sir? Araw-araw ba kayo?
So every day I have communication with my family through mobile phone and also by Skype calling or sometimes by Facebook chatting. So this is a low cost chatting.
Yeah, kahit pa paano naiibsan yung pagkakamiss niyo sa family mo, sir.
Yun.
Okay. Kung ikumpara nyo yung buhay nyo ngayon at noon, how would you assess your
Malaking pagkakaiba kasi sa Pilipinas magtatrabaho ka nga pero pagdating ng sahod ang dami ng bawas. Let's say tumatanggap ka ng 50,000 a month, masyadong malaki na yun. So bawas na lahat, ang matitake home mo almost 35,000 or 30,000. So nangungupahan ka ng bahay, papaaral ka ng anak mo, so wala ka na matitira doon.
Ibig sabihin ba niyan yung kinikita nyo ngayon sobrang sapat? Paano ko masasabi?
Masasabi natin dyan is more than enough.
More than enough. You can even save a lot probably from your salary.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you can disclose how much you're earning. I mean, say what's the difference between your salary, in the Philippines and your salary here. Like,
My salary compared to Philippines, let's say my gross income in Philippines multiplied by 6.
wow, that's big enough. Times 6.
So hindi naman po tayo siguro mahahabol ni Commissioner Henares being as a OFW, tayo ay exempted sa tax.
Oh, exempted nga dito. Walang tax dito, bawas, di ba, sir?
Wala tayong tax. As OFW, wala po tayong tax.
Pero malaking tulong din tayo, mga OFWs. I myself is also an OFW. Malaking tulong tayo sa bansa natin kasi nagpapadala tayo ng pera. Kayo din ba, sir, how often do you bring money home? Or send money home?
Once a month lang naman ang padala natin, pero kailangan pa rin mag-save talaga.
Sir Ruel, medyo nabanggit nyo kanina na hirap nga kumita sa Pilipinas, di ba po? So, pagdating nyo dito, mas gumanda, mas lalong gumanda, times 6 pa nga sabi nyo eh. Para sa salary nyo sa Pilipinas, ang salary nyo dito. Pero, maigi pa rin yung nagbabudget tayo, ano po? So, paano nyo binabudget yung pera nyo? Like, how much yung sinisend nyo sa Pilipinas, at how much yung tinitira nyo sa sarili nyo, how much yung sinisend nyo? Kayo po.
When it comes to budgeting, annually meron kaming budget every month. So dahil ang mga anak ko, itinuruan ko silang mag-budget. Meron silang kanya-kanyang allocation, school allowances, and tuition fee, some miscellaneous, budget sa bill cost sa bahay, tapos yung mga necessary things. Ito yung miscellaneous expenses sa bahay. So, yan ang pagbabudget namin dahil pagdating sa pagkain as OFW, ang naging objective ko nung una yung food security. Kaya una kong investment talaga, kailangan kong ma-secure yung supply namin ng pagkain.
Tama.
So yan ang kailangan namin i-sustain na hindi na dapat bumili.
Ibig sabihin, prioritize nyo yung pagkain muna bagong any other thing.
So yan ang inuna ko kumpara sa pagpapatayo ng bahay kasi hindi ka makapagpatayo ng bahay kung wala kang pagkain.
Tama. So, sinong nagbabudget nun? I mean, sinong nag-aalat nun, sir? Yung asawa nyo or kayo mismo, sir? Or pareho yung pinag-uusapan? Kasi nag-uusap
Ang
kayo.
pinapadala ko dyan ay lagi nang nasa gross. Pero meron siyang breakdown na naka-Excel file. So kung kanino pupunta, kanino sa mga anak ko mapupunta yung ganitong amount, naka-indicate na yun. Kasi automatic computed naman yun sa isang buwan.
So, pinag-uusapan nyo talaga, pareho kayo nag-uusap?
Nag-uusap kami doon, pati mga anak, pinag-uusapan namin yung budgeting.
Mabalik tayo doon sa trabaho nyo again, sir. So, it is your first time to be here, and you've been here for quite some time, over 10 years, right, sir, in KFC, and this is your first time. Actually, because and first and last job probably, I don't know. You've been here for a long time, right, sir? So, I think you've been enjoying here in Sajay, right, sir? So, what is the most, what are the reasons why you're staying in Sajay, sir, by the way?
Number one reason why I should stay, kailangan pa natin magpaaral ng mga anak.
Okay.
So yun ang number one kasi hindi natin pwedeng madaliin na makatapos sila lahat. So sumusunod sila by year, kailangan nating subaybayan, kailangan din mag-ipon.
Ang iba kasi, sir, they've been hopping from one company to another company, but you've been here staying for quite some time, so I guess you're satisfied so much with what you have here, right, sir?
Mahirap din kasing magpalipat-lipat ng kumpanya kasi it shows also your personality. Kung palipat-lipat ka ng kumpanya, so hindi ka satisfied dun sa kumpanyang pinapasukan mo. So dalawa lang yan, either na may problema yung kumpanyang pinapasukan mo o ikaw ang may problema.
So basically nung nasa Pinas ka rin, nagtatagal ka rin sa isang company, right, sir?
Nagtagal din ako sa kumpanya.
Ano yung company niyo sa Pilipinas bago ka pumunta dito, sir?
Bago ako pumunta dito sa Toyota.
Sa Toyota, ilang taon kayo sa Toyota, sir?
11 years.
So ano yung mga dinaanan yung paraan or ano yung mga prosesong dinaanan nyo bago kayo pumunta sa KSS? Can you give a little bit details of how?
Actually, hindi naman ako nahirapan na mag-apply dito sa Saudi Arabia kasi nasa Toyota nga tayo, tatrabaho. So being a trainer as well as operation superintendent, so medyo may tumawag sa atin na ang sabi magbubukas daw ng ganitong school sa Saudi Arabia. So puro Saudization project.
Okay.
So may tumawag sa akin at ang tanong kung gusto kong sumama dahil ito isang project din ng Toyota Motor Corporation Japan.
So it's basically may kakilala kayong nag-recommend siguro sa inyo, sir?
May nag-recommend talaga.
So did you go through agency, a recruitment agency?
Mandatory, it must be through agency.
So, legal talaga lahat, di ba, sir?
Legal lahat.
May visa, lahat, kompleto.
Saka kilala namin ang agency mismo.
Okay. Ano yung agency niyo ulit, sir? Kung pwedeng banggitin.
Pwede naman banggitin. Siguro, Al-Asala Manpower Agency.
Okay. Alright, sir. nabanggit nyo na madalas marami kang na-encounter na problema sa suliranin. Siyempre, namimiss natin ang pamilya natin sa Pilipinas, di ba po? So, paano nyo inaalay yung sarili nyo? Dahil sa pagkakawala nyo sa pamilya nyo, ano yung mga ginagawa nyo para maibsan naman? Kahit konti pa paano.
Sa Saudi Arabia, ikaw mismo maghahanap ng pwede mong pagkaabalahan. Unang-una, dapat concentrate ka. Mayroon akong binabasa na libro na gustong-gusto ring basahin ng karamihan niya.
Leonardo da Vinci, what's
So
that?
ito yung
Da Vinci po?
ito yung Bible. Una yung Bible. So every day at least makapagbasa ka man lang ng kahit isang verse man lang at medyo namnamin mo. So pagkatapos niyan, kung okay na lahat, meron ka pang ibang pwedeng pagkalibangan. Ito yung internet. Ito yung maituturing kong asawa. Itong aking laptop. Kung wala ang aking laptop, ay sigurado malungkot na yung buhay ko. Kasi nandoon yung mga balita, nandoon yung mga gusto mong i-research, andun nakakausap yung family. So, andun na. Wala akong TV sa bahay. Yung laptop lang ang kailangan ko.
Speaking of gadgets like laptop, marami na tayong gadgets ngayon. Pero way back 10 years ago, I think medyo wala pa masyadong mga ganong technology ba sir? As far as I know, parang before actually internet wasn't that. That's right,
Yes,
right?
actually yes. Dahil talaga mahirap tumawag nung una. Wala pang
Ay, pagtawag, yeah. Tama.
kahit yung mobile phone, wala pa. Bibili ka ng SIM card, kailangan mo pang pumila ng napakahabang pila.
Mabalik tayo doon sa paraan ng komunikasyon nyo way back 10 years ago, sir. Kumpara sa komunikasyon nyo, so medyo different po. May sinabi kayo?
Banggit ko nga na nung una, 2003 o 2002, so hindi pa uso ang mobile phone sa Saudi Arabia. Doon pa lang siya nag-uumpisang maglabasan. So dahil ultimo yung pagbili mo ng SIM card, kailangan mong pumila ng 3 to 4 hours para lang makabili ka ng SIM card. So hindi mo pa siya magagamit na pangtawag sa Pilipinas. So
Pagbili pa lang.
Pagbili pa lang 'yon. Magagamit mo lang siya pagka mga text message lang. Pwede kang makatanggap ng tawag pero hindi ka pwedeng tumawag.
So, plainly text messages lang muna. Walang,
Purely text
hindi mo marinig
messages.
ang boses ng pamilya mo.
Sila ang tatawag sa akin para magkarinigan kami.
Ganun kahirap.
Ganon kahirap.
Okay.
At isa pang kung gusto mong tumawag, gagamit ka ng mga telephone booth, ay napakasobrang mahal ng tawag. So ang 50 real mo, almost 50 real, almost 1,000 pesos na yun eh.
Oo. That time.
That time. So sandali
Like,
lang yung natawag mo, mga
Ilang
almost
minuto lang yun, sir?
10 minutes lang.
10 minutes lang, 50 reals na agad.
Ubus.
Ganun kamahal.
Ganun kamahal.
So, ganun naka-convenient ngayon ang komunikasyon na po. So, maliban dun sa mga libangan na nabanggit nyo, yung tungkol sa aklat na sinasabi, meron pa bang iba?
Pagdating sa devotion natin yan, ang iba natin pwedeng pagkalibangan, wala naman akong hilig sa sports.
Pagkain, or...
So, ang napaglilibangan ko dyan, more on, sa ngayon, research na lang, kung ano yung pwedeng pangkabuhayan pagdating ng panahon, kasi may mga latest technology, mga latest approach, so pwede nating may apply sa actual na buhay pagdating natin sa Pilipinas.
Okay, sir. So, medyo, I think, kinakapos na tayo ng time, sir. At saka, kailangan nyo pang magpahinga kasi mag-work na naman tayo ulit bukas. Ano po? At medyo, para sa atin, late na actually ngayon. Kailangan magpahinga. So, I believe you are a good authority when it comes to giving advice to people, especially those people who wanted to go abroad, especially here in general, or KSA in general. What advice can you give, sir?
Unang-unang maibigay natin na advice sa mga gustong mag-abroad, lalo na sa may mga pamilya na. So kailangan mag-usap silang mag-asawa kung ano ba talaga ang objective ng kanilang, kung sino man sa kanilang mag-asawa ang mag-abroad. Dahil kailangan dyan, mayroon silang teamwork. Kasi kung isa lang ang mag-iisip ng paraan paano kumita at wala silang teamwork, kahit saan pa pumunta, hindi mo rin makukuha yung gusto mong, yung objective mo. So dapat unang-una, mag-usap silang mag-asawa, ano ba talagang kailangan nila sa buhay. So kung hindi kayang i-sustain, pwede mag-abroad. So number 2, kung siya ay mag-a-abroad, lalong-lalo na sa Middle East, dapat alamin niya ang background ng pupuntahan niyang kumpanya. Kasi
okay.
hindi po pwedeng bastang nasabi lang na abroad, makaalis lang, okay na. Hindi po pwede yung ganon. Kasi marami na tayong mga kababayan na nabiktima na yung palang mga kumpanya ay hindi legal na kumpanya.
Tama.
So minsan naman may mga agency na hindi pala legal.
Tama, sir.
So,
Maraming kami ng ganun, sir.
Kailangan i-check din nila yung mga agency nila. At pangatlo, magkano ba talaga ang hinahanap nilang sahod kumpara sa Pilipinas? Kasi minsan kung mapupuntahan nila sa abroad ay mas mababa pa o kapareho lang sa Pilipinas, bakit pa kailangan mag-abroad? So, yan ang kailangan muna nilang i-balanse. Kung yung kinikita nila sa Pilipinas at yung kikitain sa ibang bansa ay may pagkakaiba ba?
Ganun ako. Magandang payo ngayon sa mga gustong mag-abroad, especially here in Jeddah. Anyway, Jeddah is not so... Jeddah is already open city, right, sir?
Open siya.
So, wala masyadong problema siguro kung gusto nilang pumunta. Just they have to make sure those things that you mentioned, sir, especially research
in
about
addition, sinasabi ko, ang Jeddah or specifically Saudi Arabia or Middle East, ito yung magandang lugar kumpara mo sa OFW kasi kung ang objective mo ay makapag-ipon, makapagpundar, kung mayroon kang sariling dedication doon sa objective mo na ma-fulfill siya, kayang-kaya mo siya. Kasi unang-una, ang living standard dito, kahit pa sabihin natin tumataas ang mga bilihin, mas mababa pa rin ang living standard. Kumpara mo sa mga ibang bansa na talagang mataas ang living standard. So, andyan na yung mga taxes, andyan na yung mga bilihin na mataas. Sa Saudi Arabia, hindi ganun.
Kasi may tax free tayo dito lahat, diba, sir?
Magkakaroon ka rin ng sariling disiplina sa sarili mo. Kasi hindi ka po pwedeng gala dito, gala doon. So, mapipilitan kang maging behave.
Kasi bawal lahat dito.
Marami siyang bawal at pwede ka rin pumunta ng underground pero masama yon.
Tama, sir. So, maigi nga talagang piliin ang Middle East, lalo na ang KSA, para doon sa mga mag-a-abroad anyway. Sir, maraming salamat po sa pag-unlock nyo sa aking interview with you, sir. Huwag kang yung mag-alala, sir. Ito ay hindi lang una, huling interview ko sa'yo. Malamang marami pang susunod pa, sir. Maraming Assalamualaikum, and how do I say salamat in Arabic, sir? Shukran, right, sir?
Shukran jasira o yati kalaki.
Okay, shukran katir, sir. Thank you very much.